Greetings, everyone. My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. I react to video game music for the first time as a musician myself, and today is the return of Death Stranding, but the debut of Death Stranding 2, a Game of the Year nominee, and that's why I'm doing it, because I'm doing all the Game of the Year nominees. I'm doing a video for each one. This did not have a lot of requests, so I just kind of chose two random ones. I have no idea what they are, but one of them was requested by Rogue Monk, so thank you. Death Stranding 2 on the Beach is the full name of the game. And the soundtrack is by Ludwig Forsell. The one I chose is the first song, Should We Have Connected, followed by One Last Fight Part 2 from the channel Sony Soundtracks Vivo. This is a Hideo Kojima game. I'm very well aware who that is. But let's just get into it, and we'll talk later. This is Death Stranding 2, Should We Have Connected, the first song in the soundtrack. First song, I have to imagine it's like a main menu theme, or first thing you hear. Whoa. It's almost over too. Just a bunch of arpeggios. Super short. I have a feeling that song has... I have a feeling most of the soundtrack is going to branch off of that somehow, as in like a leitmotif. Very straight to the point, just a little arpeggiated piano piece, which I love. Don't have a whole lot to say. It was really beautiful. I'm a big fan of arpeggiating. It's one of my favorite things to do on the guitar, and just one of my favorite things to listen to. All that is just a chord broken up into its individual notes, and it always sounds good to me. It's like it always sounds so, I don't know, it just sounds like the musical equivalent of a waterfall or something. Or like a starry night, just filled with, this abundance of sound, and they just all resonate with each other, harmonize with each other, I should say. I don't know anything about Death Stranding, so the title, Should We Have Connected, I don't know what that means. I don't know if this is a sequel or a prequel. I just know I've heard of this game. It's one of those games where, like, if you're in the sphere of gaming whatsoever, you've heard of Death Stranding, right? Hideo Kojima went from... well, I don't say went from, but I mean, I knew of him when I was like 8 or 9 with Metal Gear Solid, but he was making games before that. There was Snatcher, the regular Metal Gears. He's been around for a while, but it wasn't until like Solid where he's kind of grown into this like entity, and I don't know. He's I don't know what the term is here, but he's very well known, I guess. So, and I never followed the whole like thing with Metal Gear. I don't know what happened with Konami, all that. I just kind of stay away from like drama news and all that kind of stuff. So one day I'll look into it. But I will say that I said it before, probably in my first video. Just to give you an idea, Metal Gear Solid, I pretty much consider my favorite game of all time, the original PlayStation 1. These days, I don't really know because I've been playing so many good games, and I don't know if that was just like bias of me being younger. But Metal Gear Solid definitely was and is like such a impactful thing. Um, but Death Stranding, admittedly, never caught my attention whatsoever. Not because it's not Metal Gear. It's just every time I've seen it, I've had the exact same reaction, and that's what it's very confusing to me, which makes a whole lot of sense considering I have not played it. And I've even heard from people that love this game, really love this game, that they also went into the game thinking, what? But they just tried it anyways, and then they kind of won them over. So I'm just giving you an idea, like before I listen to the second song, going into this video, anytime I hear Death Stranding, my brain is always going to be like, oh, it's that game again, you know? Not that it has a stigma, it's just very confusing looking at it from the outside. So that was really cool. I feel like Ludwig Forssell has worked with Kojima before. I could be wrong about that. Let me know. This one is a little longer. And it's a part 2. One Last Fight, part 2. I don't know if there's fights in this game, but let's see. Oh, I forgot to mention, Hideo Kojima's use of music, though, is very good. It's very unique and interesting. Like, I know he's like the movie guy, so I feel like he's very meticulous with song direction. The first song I know was at the beginning. This one, it doesn't tell me. Like, I don't know where in the soundtrack it is. Who's the singer? This game is a trip, man. Interesting. It was vocal heavy and then it just became instrumental. And shredding. A lot of whammy bar. I think everything I'm feeling, for the most part, is normal. It's just a lot of confusion. Every time I've seen a trailer, an announcement of anything relating to Death Stranding, I feel like it's always the same kind of universal thing. Whether someone's reacting to the trailers or looking in the chat room of trailers, everyone's just like, question mark. You know, it's meant to invoke that kind of mystery. The thing is, some people act upon that mystery and take a chance, and there's others that don't. In this case, I'm guessing part of the latter. But I feel that the people that took the chance and wanted to see what was up with it, and whether that had Kojima's name on it or just wanted to see because of Norman Reedus, I don't know. I've heard pretty much universal praise for this game, which again, I'm not like, it might sound like I'm hating, but I'm not. It's just, it's confusion. It's unlike any game I think I've heard of or seen in probably my life. It's got mass appeal. It's got, there seems to be kind of like no gray area with it. People love it or they hate it. Which is a very, to me, says like it's a very striking piece of art. That's what art is essentially. But it is something that I have grown to like work better toward being towards, because a recent example, a game I just played and finished, Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. I'm going to reference it a lot because it's a thing that had a song that I just absolutely, which is rare here. I was just like, no. Sounded bad. Sounded like garbage in my ears. It was terrible. Played the game. Can't imagine that song not being in the game. Made total sense, right? All the weird voices. Oh, well, the whole world is full of demons. Okay, that makes sense. Stuff like that, right? It's no secret. It's no surprise that context is everything. But I feel like with Kojima, considering how Metal Gear Solid was, and Gun to the Patriots, and just all of them. Like I played the first 4. I haven't played 5 onwards. My only experience with Hideo Kojima's 1 through 4, and VR missions. Those games always have good music, and I know that has to, like, someone like him, of that kind of visionary style, he has to have input on that. Like, I'm sure it was his idea for Snake Eater's theme, you know what I mean? And then he just got someone that can perform it. But it's also interesting how, people change throughout the years, because, when I experienced Metal Gear Solid, he was, X years old, I don't know, late 20s, 30s. And now he's still making games, and he's like, I'm guessing in his like late 50s or something. So it's just a very unique thing. You don't really hear about that too often. Developers staying around that long and then being that pivotal and influential this long too. So it's something to really consider. And so my confusion is really just like a mixture of just, I don't know if intimidation is the right word, but it's very impressive in its own weird way. But I think that is the point. When you show imagery of a baby and what looks to be like inside of a tube, and you have a known celebrity as the face of the game with a title that really doesn't make sense, Death Stranding 2 on the beach doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, then that's all by design, So, it doesn't a game doesn't have to say like kitchen adventure for you to, what am I trying to say here? It doesn't always have to be obvious. There's art in the whole mystique about it. So let me know, if you play this game, how did you get into it? Did you like it? Obviously it's good enough to be nominated, right? That's a big thing. That's a pretty notable thing. The music is kind of everywhere, but I've only heard 4 songs in total, so it's hard to hunker down. But I will say this: Death Stranding in general is one of the most unique cases, I think, in my life, because it's always just been through word of mouth and weird trailers and the same guy created like basically my favorite game of all time. So it's just a lot mentally. It's weird. I hope some of this makes sense, but oh, it's interesting. But I'm sure that context matters. Who knew? Let me know. I really want to know your opinions on this one. On how you got into it. Were you confused? Are you still confused? Does it make total sense? Did you like it? Is it game of the year for you? I am so curious. Thank you for listening to my rants. Thank you to the requesters. And thanks to everyone you see on screen. I couldn't be here without them. Good luck at the Game Awards. My name is Jesse in the auditorium. Peace.